I am Kesten Rono, and you are here for day 32. Happy February, if you're joining us in this new year of our exploration of A Course in Miracles. Thank you. An offering of gratitude for being here, for trying this idea on for the sake of trying it on. And not that I have any ownership over you whatsoever, but if you are feeling shameful in any kind of way because you missed a day, then no big deal. We are on our way on the same path. So please, you are forgiven. And may we begin this chain of forgiveness on the path to atonement. May we accept that you are imbued, I am imbued with the opportunity to be a creator of our thoughts, that there are no neutral things because there are no neutral thoughts, that we are somehow made in the image of the Creator, and we have at least a small power to try on different perspectives in this world and see life through a different lens. We can accept that we have been seeing things through some fearful lens. How can we know if that's true? Well, have we been trying to plan everything, control? Have we been interested in power? Do we feel like we're being attacked? And if so, can we recognize if we are attacking anyone, even if we claim it is out of defense? I definitely have been able to say that for myself, that that is how I feel, that there are things that are radically worth defending, and I'm not sure how to reconcile that yet. Except I understand that if I'm entering into a perspective of the world where those things are under attack, then I feel that I must attack back, and we are here to break that cycle. That if you are made in the light of the Creator, because you have the ability to create at minimum with your thoughts, changing your mood, and therefore how you're going to interact in the next space you enter into in the world, and therefore how people might perceive your energy and how that might affect their day and what they create. And you can see a small example of the cause and effect that can begin with your thoughts. You are a creator. And so if you are made in the light of the creator that would have the opportunity to organize all things which we see chaotic and which may cause us, we believe, to be fearful, even if that's an idea we plant in our own minds. That if you are of the light of the Creator, even in the smallest sense, perhaps you are holy and part of whatever it is that is everything, that it is vital, that you feeling however you are feeling is to recognize how you feel, and may you let it go. And may we simply have revealed whatever is on the other side of us and our inundations, our own ideas. We can take the example of turning off the news, turning off the radio, turning off the TV. What do we imagine fills the void if we no longer have marketing and propaganda and entertainment, however the lens is seen? Stories being told to us that maybe are thrilling. The spectacle. What is it like when we remove the spectacle or the belief that we need to know something or we'll be missing out by infecting ourselves with some fear-based idea that drives more excitement from us, more clicks, and more engagement online? What do we imagine would fill the void if we remove those things? Well, if you could imagine driving and never seeing an advertisement and never turning on your radio and not listening to the newest song that came out or engaging in the next series that is being talked about, not turning on the news to see what is up, including the weather, which is just visible right outside. What do you imagine you would notice? Well, it must be more of yourself or more of whatever you may notice. I know that sounds possibly silly, but it's not someone else's ideas constantly coming in. Maybe you notice more architecture, and that's a new idea. But maybe some of your own ideas, feelings, and intuitions start creeping forward. Some curiosities, some excitements, a chance for a hobby, something that you didn't quite know you might have the ability to do, something new. And perhaps you even dare try it because maybe it's exciting. Maybe you need something to do anyways. Well, maybe as we feel our upsets and we let them go, as we forgive, as we remove ourselves as a victim, as we accept that we have some power in creation through thought, maybe what comes forward as we release more of how we were painting our own story, our own television, our own radio stations, our own news, where we have been dictating how we are based off of how we have been and what everything around us is, and therefore demanding that we know best what it is used for, what its purpose is. Maybe as we let even more of that go, there's something else to discover, some other fullness, some other richness, some other abundance, some other idea of truth, some love. For sure, what would be on the other side of whatever we have known and whatever we are is the unknown, the place that we are supposed to be most afraid. But what if in the unknown are those things, abundance, truth, love? What if that is a baseline principle to be discovered as we can release our upsets and our insistence that our past must make our present? What if you are holy? What if, as a human, what if you are a child of God? These dogs, these plants, everything around me. What if all of it has some connection to a universal purpose? And what if the meanings of the items around me have a different view from the lens of the spirit rather than the body? What about just asking what if? What if we felt full? What if we started with a principle? 32. I inspire all miracles. You inspire all miracles. I inspire all miracles, which are really intercessions. They intercede for your holiness and make your perceptions holy. By placing you beyond the physical laws, they raise you into the sphere of the celestial order. In this order, you are perfect. Okay. I inspire all miracles. Whoa. If I inspire all miracles, what am I? A creator? If miracles' source is love, what am I? Am I love itself? Perhaps that is my purpose, to inspire all miracles. Perhaps that is simply the idea of love to exist as it is and be expressed in whatever form it is: a table, a dog, a plant, a human, a lamp, a window. I inspire all miracles. If I can say that, and if you can say that, then what does that really mean? How can I inspire all miracles if you inspire all miracles? Perhaps our lens on what I is extremely limited. What if all minds are connected because this idea of creation is more intertwined than we expected? Have you really been able to assimilate the idea of cause and effect being simultaneously occurring? That your thoughts are causes and the world you see is the effect? In principle, it seems simple. In practice, I'm curious how you feel. What is it if you are the inspiration for all miracles and yet I inspire all miracles? Perhaps our universal purpose, just reaching here, is to inspire all miracles. Miracles are really intercessions. They intercede for your holiness, not your holiness addressing a king, your possessive holiness, the holiness which you have as a child of God, this book suggests. They intercede for your holiness and make your perceptions holy. All right? We're here to change perception. Miracles adjust the levels of perception to show them in proper alignment. Miracles intercede for your holiness and make your perceptions holy. So miracles are ordering some levels of perception, which makes our perception holy. I inspire all miracles, which are really intercessions. They intercede for your holiness and make your perceptions holy. By placing you beyond the physical laws, they raise you into the sphere of celestial order. In this order, you are perfect. Big statements. Everything here asking us to accept an idea of denying our body perspective and accepting an idea of spirit perspective, affirming it, spirit identification. We were talking yesterday about something about this process allows the spirit to come into the center, whatever that is, and have a streamlined communication to wherever that is. That miracles heal by suddenly moving beyond the body, that we're being asked to consider an idea of vision, of sight, that is not stemming from how we use our physical eyes. That what we are trying to see is something completely separate. We are trying to see in the invisible, bring the spirit into the center of our identification, the viewpoint from which we are seeing. And what was it that a previous lesson mentioned, that as we move into this space, as we see with true sight, how we had seen before will completely disappear. That we are truly changing everything about how we see as we accept vision in the invisible, that we must be there to see it, or that we see it, we are becoming it. May we align in our holiness with our spirits. May we identify with our spirits. What would be so risky about asking the idea of your spirit to tell you what it sees, just to be curious? Do you not have a spirit? Again, when we see a loved one or a pet pass, was there not something that separated from the body? Something that was the exact life that it ever had? Are we missing something by addressing ourselves physically for all of our illnesses and not anchoring more like appreciation, open-mindedness, love with our ability to adjust our thoughts, to visit our feelings? Are we really giving any credence to healing with our invisible powers? That if all stress in life flows down to one bucket, and if stress itself can kill, cause dis-ease, maybe there is greater power in accepting that there is more going on with how we are able to manage our ease by releasing our dis-ease with love and appreciation, with forgiveness, by embracing this terminology around something that we are already believing we're using, aligning the ideas of miracles with our thoughts, offering us a perspective that has true purpose to build in truth, centered around an idea of love rather than one of fear. I inspire all miracles. Miracles intercede for my holiness and make my perceptions holy. So my perceptions are made holy by some expression of love expressed as love maximally by linking cause and effect, by nothing being bigger or harder than anything else, by releasing my power through the process of control as if I can guarantee a particular outcome and prevent my death. By releasing, I gain a new strength, a true strength, one without fear, one that allows me to transcend beyond my simple five senses, which are fantastic. But I can move beyond this spectacle into some natural flow and order to offer healing, to make my perceptions holy, so my perspective may be true. By placing me beyond the physical laws, miracles raise me into the sphere of celestial order. Stars, order. We've been hearing about levels being order. By allowing myself to participate in the spirit identification process, well, naturally, if I'm attempting to wear a lens or connection to my spirit itself, that how I have been seeing is just fundamentally not the same. That I am the thing within the body, or that leaves the body, or that is seeing and experiencing life through the body, that separates when we die. The spirit is not buried in the ground with the body. That the spirit exists ephemerally. It is ethereal, metaphysical. We're beyond ourselves in the perspective of the spirit. What am I seeing right now with my eyes closed? I can see darkness and light through my eyelids if I look, but what am I seeing in my mind? We have the ability to see some form of invisible. So perhaps it is not so strange to imagine that whatever it is that is within us, we believe, although I believe we are within it, but whatever this is that we have access to that gives us a viewpoint at all, some consciousness at all, that it exists in the celestial order. And this place, how we would order it is almost impossible because it is not something that we can see or touch or hear or taste or smell. So we hardly consider it. Even now, we hardly consider what the night sky looks like. Instead, we light up our cities and our grounds. By placing you beyond the physical laws, miracles raise you into the sphere of the celestial order. We are outside of our senses and identifying with our spirit. So we see some other order, something that cannot be seen with physical eyes. In this order, you are perfect. Interesting. We learned a few days ago that miracles praise God through you, and now we are saying, I inspire all miracles. They praise Him by honoring His creations, affirming their perfection. So miracles praise God by honoring His creations, one of which we are, physically and spiritually. I inspire all miracles. Whatever I inspire is to praise God by affirming my perfection. Where is my perfection found? In this celestial order. How do we arrive in the celestial order? Allow ourselves to identify with our spirit and assume its perspective. How do we do that? By releasing the idea that we are what we believe we are just because we have had experiences in the past, and choosing instead to forgive and release, to live in the present, making room for the unknown, which allows us to be curious beyond our bodies, which allows us to identify with our spirits and wonder what is there. And when we are there, the spirit is available for communication. Perhaps this is how God speaks to us very directly. When we are there, we are looking through life, whatever it is, in some celestial order rather than some personal, bodily, earthly order, which again, I agree is beautiful. But what would a celestial order look like? What would it feel like? What ideas would it want to show us? We simply ask questions and receive answers. If we are moving from body to spirit, perhaps there is a next point beyond spirit. How exciting would it be to just be exploring by calming ourselves, finding ease, reducing stress, which is the killer here. That by moving into the spirit, we are sacrificing nothing as we have learned, only receiving blessings, that we step into more ease in our physical selves, and therefore what we have to share. It seems to only compound in ease versus fear, which we know as it turns into shame and depression and anger, makes us smaller, tighter, sicker. And we are looking for meaning. So there is a very natural blueprint here to follow. Feel how we feel, forgive and release, allow what is there to be discovered, enter into some kind of presence. In the presence, we do not fear. We choose love. This is how we are charging our thoughts and creating our reality. This allows us to access some idea of truth that can see right through our fears whenever they come up again. And the idea of the unknown becomes more curious to us rather than fearful. We are now in the future. It is wrapping around us in the present, and we are becoming it. What are we becoming? The unknown, something beyond what we have been able to sense. We allow ourselves, therefore, to accept that we may have a spirit, as we see that everyone else has a spirit when they pass. They have something about them, whatever life is, and miracles mean life. So we get curious about identifying as this. We are now seeing, as time goes on, from some other lens, some celestial order, we are told, where we are perfect. And miracles, by design, are to honor God's creations. That's us. By celebrating their perfection. That is us. That is our spirit. This would be the commonality it would sound like amongst all of us. This would be the ability to wake up by viewing anything to accept it is not what it is. How that all links together may still be a mystery for us, and that is okay. This is day 32, and we are at the beginning, and we are learning. But just know, you are perfect. There's a lens on life that we just stepped through that allows you to feel that it's possible that you are perfect, and the imperfections that you and I feel are those which we choose to color over this spiritual experience, whatever it is that is there, that we can discover by simply allowing more of us to be released. You are worthy of this discovery. You are more abundant as you build with truth. You are powerful, that you have this power to recognize yourself both in body and spirit grants you power. May you use it well by just appreciating it. And you are complete. We are far deeper and richer than we have expected. And there is something about these laws of eternity on the other side of laws of time that we do not feel that we are complete may just be part of the perspective of what it is like to move through space and time. That our completeness comes with a acceptance of the ability to see in another realm, another dimension, an additional idea above, through, within, length, width, and height that simply just cuts right through with ease and truth. That if all minds are connected, they're connected somehow, and that would be their minds. We imagine from what we can see or we can feel that this must be some invisible connection. No, our spirit is invisible, and perhaps there are orders to levels that we are not even considering as we panic in trying to organize our simple time here, designed to feel and wake up. Lesson 32. I have invented the world I see. Yesterday we were saying we are not victims of the world that we see, and maybe you felt it coming that we would have to honor the idea that we are creating what we are seeing. That would help us not be a victim of it. If we are the creator, then we are not the victim. If we are not the creator, it opens the door wide for victimhood and all the challenges that would come with such a perspective. So today we say, I have invented the world I see. Please say it. I have invented the world I see. You have invented the world you see. Today, we are continuing to develop the theme of cause and effect. You are not the victim of the world you see because you invented it. Okay. You can give it up as easily as you made it up. Okay, this should be with extreme ease. You can give it up as easily as you made it up. You will see it or not see it as you wish. While you want it, you will see it. When you no longer want it, it will not be there for you to see. Wow. Is there some conflict or war or, infighting in the family or contention at work or in your community with a friend? Doesn't it feel like that is completely outside of the laws of this book? That we're cool. Yeah, we're cool with love, not hate. We can get with that, Kesten. But yeah, this stuff where you're saying that the crime I saw against someone, or the betrayal I felt, or the slander that's happening, you're trying to say that those things happening to me are me creating them? That's what this is saying. Wouldn't all those things feel like attacks? Wouldn't that make us feel justified? What is justice then? Wouldn't that make us feel justified in defending ourselves by being upset? By telling everyone how much we were wronged? By getting support to do something about it? Or, if we're lucky, getting perspective to forgive it? When we forgive it, because someone has coached us there, it's been long enough, we want to move on. What is it that we really want? We want to see life differently. We don't want to be a part of that anymore, even if it was something that was. We don't want it with us all the time anymore. So maybe we separate from that person. Maybe we make amends. Maybe we can't if they're past. So we think. Maybe it's not impossible to accept then, even if it feels challenging at front. You are not the victim of the world you see because you invented it. You can give it up as easily as you made it up. You will see it or not see it as you wish. While you want it, you will see it. And when you no longer want it, it will not be there for you to see. Even if it sounds complicated or confusing, uncomfortable, perhaps we can allow it to be true. And if it was true, how would we feel? I would imagine at ease. That is quite a responsibility, but quite an opportunity to allow ourselves to not feel something, not see something, because it is simply not there when we no longer want to see it. And that would mean that we have to accept that everything that we are seeing is because we desire it. It's okay to admit that we don't desire those things, and somehow we were contributing, possibly completely. The idea for today, like the preceding ones, applies to your inner and outer worlds, which are actually the same. Our inner and outer worlds are the same. This idea of within and without is the same. We'll just let that be. However, since you see them as different, inner and outer worlds, the practice periods for today will again include two phases. One involving the world you see outside you, and the other the world you see in your mind. In today's exercises, try to introduce the thought that both are in your own imagination. So our mind and what we're experiencing is in our imagination. Perhaps that's more straightforward. And so we will also accept the idea that what we are seeing, this dog here, even though she's alive, she is in my imagination. Again, we will begin the practice periods for the morning and the evening by repeating the idea for today 2 or 3 times while looking around at the world you see as outside yourself. Then close your eyes and look around your inner world. Try to treat them both as equally as possible. Repeat the idea for today unhurriedly, with ease. Repeat the idea today unhurriedly as often as you wish. I have invented the world I see. As you watch the images your imagination presents to your awareness. That's an interesting statement. It wasn't saying here that when our eyes are closed, we want to repeat this idea as you watch the images your imagination presents to your awareness. This is saying in general that everything we are seeing, eyes open, eyes closed, and therefore our eyelids themselves, I would imagine, everything we are seeing is our imagination. That seems very challenging, right? Our imagination is our imagination. If we close our eyes and think of a bicycle or a car or a bag of groceries, we can kind of build these ideas in our mind. That, I think, would be our imagination. I'm imagining something. I'm imagining a safe house with land near the ocean to watch the waves, with mountains and hills to explore, with peace, comfortable lighting, ample time, a curiosity to discover, some practice that is allowing me to be curious and reach beyond my physical self, that I've been freer and more sovereign than I've ever expected. I feel like this is my imagination. What am I doing right now? I suppose what I am doing I desire. And I suppose what I'm doing right now actually feels somewhat like what I just imagined. And yet it is my real life. I'm feeling like I need to stretch. Like being on the ground here is actually moving me closer to something I desire, to be more comfortable sitting like this, to be more upright and aligned, slowly. What is it again? I inspire all miracles. By placing me beyond my physical laws, they raise me into a sphere of celestial order where I'm perfect. All right. Our inner and outer worlds are both our imagination, and so would be the time between seeing outer and seeing inner. That this entire thing we are feeling, this would be suggesting that what we are seeing is our imagination. Again, we will begin the practice periods for the morning and evening by repeating the idea today for 2 or 3 times. What we said. We are going to be repeating, I have invented the world I see, with our eyes open 2 or 3 times. Without hurry, then closing our eyes and doing the same. And everything that we would see with our eyes open and everything that we would imagine with our eyes closed, we are allowing ourselves to consider that both are our imaginations. For the 2 longer practice periods, 3 to 5 minutes are recommended, with not less than 3 required. More than 5 can be utilized if you find the exercise restful. To facilitate this, select a time when few distractions are anticipated and when you yourself feel reasonably ready. 2 meditations, 3 minutes each. Enjoy more if you enjoy it. Find a time when perhaps you're not being inundated. Find 3 minutes when you feel like you might be more restful and ready to just try on a new idea, that you have invented the world you see. These exercises are also to be continued during the day, as often as possible. The shorter applications consist of repeating the ideas slowly as you survey either your inner or outer world. It does not matter which you choose. So, we'll pick 2, 3 to 5 minute periods, and then anytime we think about it, without shame for the last time that we didn't think about it, if we're busy, if we're in a space where we can't speak, so we believe, we can simply close our eyes and say it in our minds. Or if we can speak, but we're at a place where we can rest, we can say it out loud and close our eyes. We can say it out loud with our eyes open. I suppose we could say it in our minds, which is the same as outside of ourselves. But we could say it in our minds with our eyes open. Simply allowing yourself and daring yourself to repeat it in any combination, eyes open, eyes closed, verbally or inside. I have invented the world I see. Wow, what an inventor you are. There's a lot going on, including the permission, as you interact in your invention, to simply allow yourself to recognize it as we move closer to honoring whatever it is that God has created and its perfections. The idea for today should also be applied immediately to any situation that may distress you. Apply the idea by telling yourself, I have invented this situation as I see it. I have invented the world I see. I have invented the world I see. I have invented the world I see. What I see now in my mind and what I see now with my eyes open are the same. Cause and effect happen simultaneously. My thoughts are the cause, and what I see is the effect. What I desire, I see, so what I am seeing, I must desire. If I do not believe this is comfortable, and I do not want to see it, well, I am not the victim of the world I see. I invented the world I see. If that idea is upsetting to me, well, I arrive exactly where I just stated myself. That I am not the victim of the world I see. I invented the world I see. Eventually, I might just try this on. And therefore, what I desire, my thoughts and how I charge them, or I suppose what I hate, but that would still be what I desire, apparently, what I want to learn. What I desire, I am seeing instantly. That cause and effect are linked, that our thoughts are creating exactly what we are seeing, exactly when we see it, and we think it is separate. In this, from this perspective, I can see, I can understand, or intellectualize at least, how I have invented the world that I see, that it is happening simultaneously, my thoughts, the cause, and what I see, the effects. And therefore, I notice that I am charging everything that I think based off of how I am feeling about everything that I see. You are not the victim of the world you see because you invented it. We are continuing to develop the theme of cause and effect. Whatever we are seeing, we can easily give it up because we made it up. When you no longer want it, it will not be there. You will see it or not see it as you wish. And we remember that you either see or you do not. I invented that dog. I am Kesten Rono, and I am experiencing more ease as I playfully try on these ideas. Hopefully you are too. And if not, perhaps you are seeing exactly what you desire. See you tomorrow.